It's been over 3 years since my family and I moved to Rhode Island, and I'm sure like you, if you're a photographer and you live somewhere, when you move to a new place, you want to find your places. And I'm sure you know what that means. The places that you go to that make you the most excited to take pictures. And it wasn't very long until I had discovered what I think is not only my place, but what I think I'm going to try and convince you is the best place in Rhode Island to do landscape photography, and that is Point Judith Light. I have a few photos, a few prints that I wanted to show you from there. It is an incredible place to go for sunrises. This is from a sunrise a few years ago. It was just incredible color in the sky, and the tide is so interesting. It can make such great reflections of some of the colors, like it was as the case in this picture. And then this is from another sunrise. This was, I want to say this was in maybe March. And again, yeah, just incredible colors. The sunrises here are really, really cool. And there's so many possibilities in terms of compositions. And then it's also a great place if you want to go and photograph the full moon, as was the case here. This I call the fisherman in the full moon. It doesn't have the lighthouse in it, but this is one of my favorite pictures I think I've ever taken. And when you find a place like this that means so much to you, it can be hard to not want to just go there over and over again. And in fact, it has been almost 1 year to the day since I was last there. So I'm going to take you back to nearly 1 year ago, one of my first times going out with a camera in hand, trying to capture what it's like to be out on a beautiful summer sunrise morning. Good morning, everybody. It is 4:08 in the morning. Been up since 3, which of course must mean it is summer and there is a sunrise to get to. I am very excited to be heading down to Point Judith Light this morning. It's one of my favorite places in all of Rhode Island. It's actually, I would say, the first place that I went to when we moved here that made me realize exactly what was possible in terms of photography. Always so hard to get up at the early hours. Managed to sneak out of the house. Didn't wake anyone up. Point Judith sits a little bit more southeast. The sun is rising more toward the north. It's like northeast, but I think the color is going to come through. But the other thing that I was really hoping for, and oh wow, these hydrangeas just look beautiful right now. The other thing that I was hoping for is we're in the middle of a heat wave right now, and I saw that the temperatures were supposed to really dip overnight. Oh. It's a deer right there. Morning, buddy. Anyway, with the temperatures dipping, what I was hoping we'd get is a little bit of sea mist in the air, and we have that as we make it to the top of the view here for the lighthouse. Yeah, so it's got like a fogginess to it, and it gives it that ethereal feel that I think will make for really nice pictures this morning. Well, talk about a quintessential summer morning. I don't think it gets any better than this. The lighthouse looks incredible right now, and you can see the waves that are just crashing down along the shore. There's already a ton of color over to the north. We're about 20 minutes away from sunrise. So I'm gonna get set up. So the perfect scenario this morning would be that this mist that you can see just below the lighthouse stays there until the sun gets a little bit higher in the sky, so I can get this mix of light on the lighthouse and mist. And my hope is to see something really cool out of that. But I gotta get moving because the sun will not stop moving, so I have to stop. I can't stop moving either. So I'm gonna shoot this in a bracketed mode, which gets 3 different exposure levels, and then I'll blend those together. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to get the darker details and the brighter details in the image and combine them together. That way I don't lose any of the mist in the shot, I don't lose any of the color from the sun. I wanna preserve all of those, so I'll blend those 3 together. So as you can see, the sun is starting to come out, and I'm going to try to use that to my advantage for 2 reasons. I want to get a little bit of light spilling on the lighthouse, but there are these clouds that have popped up overhead, which if these clouds had been the clouds that were just on the horizon at sunrise, it would have been unbelievable. But they're here now, and we can still get a little bit of color on them when the sun is still low on the horizon as it's starting to come up at the beginning of the day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna position, like you can see in the camera here, big, wide, with a lot of space in the sky to get those clouds and a little bit of the color that's already still on the horizon. That color's probably gonna fade away in a minute. And then just get the lighthouse and the rest of the scene, anchoring it with that mist that's still hanging out. It's still hanging in there, which is exactly what we want. I think this might end up being the best shot, which I need to get because there's starting to be some color in the sky, so we gotta get that now. We are going to move quickly because, as you can see behind me, the sun's come up and these clouds are ridiculously nice. So I'm gonna make my way down toward the rocks and try to get a composition there. I wanna get something with the waves. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that'll be really cool. Yeah, gotta get it quickly though, because those clouds are moving. That was pretty cool. So you saw me in a moment ago. I was out, it's so loud here. So I figured I would just tell you what I did after I did it. So you saw me, I was down with the waves coming in. What was I doing? I was timing it. I had a 2-second shutter release, which means I hit the button, 2 seconds passes, then the photo is taken. And I was doing that so that I could get the right timing without my camera being shaky because it was a long exposure. I didn't want to touch my camera, so I have a remote here that I can use. So I time it so that I wait. All right, when will the waves come in 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi? Then I take the picture. But I also have to time it for not just when the waves are gonna come in for when the shutter goes off, but also for when the waves come in to have the right effect that I'm looking for. So I had a long exposure on. So I wanted a smoothness along the rocks to be able to get a little bit of a mist and the white to match probably what's gonna end up looking like the haziness in the distance of the lighthouse. I am so pleased with how things ended up being this morning. This is a perfect summer morning in Rhode Island, and views like this, well, views like this are what make getting up at 3 a.m., leaving the house at 4 a.m., arriving at your location at 4:45, and waiting for that magical moment when the sun comes up to all be worth it. Oh man, the sun's about to peek out over here. Oh, this is gonna be, oh. Oh, that is so great. That takes it from an A+ morning and makes it an A++ morning. It doesn't get any better than this. Wow. Perfect morning. Awesome. Perfect. Mornings like this are just, these are the mornings that make being a landscape photographer worth it. It's not even the picture or what you get from it, just the morning and being out. It's unbelievable. That was such a special morning for me, and it was one of those moments that made me really excited to be in Rhode Island and be doing photography here. And so since it's been so long since I've visited Point Judith, I thought it would be appropriate that I go back nearly 1 year to the day. And so that's what I'm going to do in my next video. I'm going to return to Point Judith Light, my favorite place to photograph in the state, and I'm going to ask myself the question, what have I learned? Not only what have I learned in terms of landscape photography, what have I learned in terms of doing these videos, but probably most importantly, what have I learned about myself and my relationship to photography. So next time you see a video from me, it'll be 1 year later, asking myself, what have I learned about all of this? As always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, just take a moment, like this video please, hit the subscribe button, it goes a real long way for the channel. And when I'm out again, which will be soon, I'll see you then.